Okay, it's going to get going. Good morning and welcome to our Business 101 series, interview with our local small business experts. This will be a short discussion that the Economic Alliance will be hosting to discuss topics that impact small businesses. These sessions will be short 5 to 10 question interviews that we hope will answer some of your most important questions. We will allow for time for those questions at the end and encourage you to reach out to the Economic Alliance and or our industry experts to find out more about any topic you are interested in learning more about. Today, we'll be learning about WorkSource Okanogan and the business services that they offer. We are so excited to have Monica Garza-Acevedo, WorkSource specialist, who will be sharing her wisdom and experience working with small businesses in Okanogan County. Welcome, Monica. Can you share a little bit about your background?
Yes, I've worked with WorkSource Okanogan for the past 29 years. Most of my career has been in employment and training. I started working with the agency as an employment specialist, assisting job seekers, find employment, and then transitioned into the job training unit, assisting individuals with training opportunities through the adult, dislocated, and youth supported programs. I am currently the WorkSource specialist lead, assisting with outreach events to both job seekers and employers.
Well, Monica, it sounds like you have the background and knowledge that to help many of our local businesses who are looking to access information about training and employer services from WorkSource Okanogan. And I do have to add, in my past life, I was in workforce development as well, managing a small workforce development organization and worked with Monica for many, many years. So I know that she knows her stuff and we're really lucky to have her with us today. Well, let's get started with the interview. Today, we're going to hear some of the most common questions that Monica hears in her role when working with small businesses. For all of you joining us via Facebook Live, please add your questions into the chat box and I will moderate that. And at the end, if we have time for questions, we'll make sure that we get to them. So now to our first question. Monica, can you share with us a little about WorkSource Okanogan and the services that you offer to small businesses?
Yes, WorkSource is a statewide partnership of state, local, and nonprofit agencies that provide an array of employment and training services to job seekers and employers in Washington. Customers can access services electronically through WorkSourceWA.com, which is our website, or through more than 60 WorkSource centers, affiliates, and connection sites. Due to these partnerships, we can assist employers with advertising job openings, assist with recruitment and screening of applicants, provide local labor market information, and industry growth patterns. We host a lot of variety of events like job fairs to connect the job seeker and the employer. So we're all about helping individuals find employment and employers helping them find their employees.
Right now in this, day and age, since post-COVID, finding good employees has been one of the challenges, or even getting employees to apply for, the jobs that they're posting. And I know that you guys have specific programs that are out there like the on-the-job training program that could benefit employers. Can you tell us a little bit more about that specific program and how an employer would go about accessing information about that, or if they have an individual that they think might be good for their job, but it would be nice for them to maybe access a program like this?
Definitely. On-the-job training is an excellent alternative for employers who are having a hard time finding qualified applicants. So WorkSource connects job seekers to businesses that need custom trained workers. So on-the-job training is authorized under the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act program. What WIUA can do is they can reduce the cost of hiring and training new employees through on-the-job training by reimbursing 50% of the qualified workers' wages during their training period. So all employers must do is just agree to retain the workers afterward if they performed well on the job and to teach them the necessary skills to continue to do that job. Employers benefit by gaining a great trained employee, and it provides the job seeker the opportunity to learn that job hands-on while receiving a wage. So employers can contact WorkSource and speak to a representative to learn more about on-the-job training opportunities, and we can assist them and provide convenient access to eligible workers.
Great. And if they have, this is just a follow-up, if they already have an existing employee that they think could benefit from that program that they might have hired and they just might not have all the skills for that job to fit that job description, could they contact you after you've already hired them, or is it only for new hires?
It's for new hires. I mean, these have to be positions that, they're currently hiring for. So we'd like to, because we know that when they're hiring, there's a lot of unknowns or things, information that they might need. We want to make sure that we can assist the employer through that hiring, phase as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So if I have a need for my employees to get specific training, is there a program that WorkSource offers that could help us out? So I've already got my employee, they're existing, they're on my payroll, they need some specific training. What do I need? What can you do to help?
Yes, we can assist through the incumbent worker training program. This allows businesses to grow talent from within, stay competitive in new and emerging markets, and retain and promote employees through skills development and achieving industry recognized credentials. So through the incumbent worker training, it's designed to meet the special requirements of the employer to retain a skilled workforce or avert the need to lay off employees by assisting the workers in obtaining those skills necessary to retain employment, and conducted with a commitment by the employer to retain or avert the layoffs of the incumbent workers trained. So we can assist with direct training costs to make that happen.
Wow, that, I think that when I'm out talking to businesses in my job, that's something that I always hear from them is, we have our employees, they're dedicated to the company, they want to be here, but they might not have the skills or the education that they need to move up to those next positions. And the, employer wants to keep them and give them those opportunities. So it sounds like the incumbent worker training program is an excellent program for those businesses to be able to access.
Definitely.
All right. So one of the things, and I know that this was something, especially, that we dealt with through COVID, but even before COVID happened, a lot of times, people thought, that when you talk about WorkSource, they automatically just think, oh, that's the unemployment office. When we say, oh, no, you need to go talk to WorkSource to talk about, to them about what services they provide. Oh, but no, that's just the unemployment office. I'm looking for a job. It's not that I need unemployment. So do you, I know services have changed over the years. So is there still people in your office that do help deal with UI and help navigate through that process?
Yes, we get that a lot, that we're the unemployment office, but we're actually the employment office. We assist both the employers and job seekers with employment options and opportunities. But we do have 2 unemployment ambassadors in our office, one being bilingual, that are designated to assist with, unemployment questions or concerns. So customers can come in and talk to both of those individuals.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm an employer and I am hiring and, my office is really small and, there's not a lot of confidentiality because our walls are really thin. And as I'm looking around my office and thinking, I could hear what's going on in the next room right now. And you want to deal, you want to have a confidential setting. Can I contact WorkSource and I know you mentioned before that you had applicant screening, but you would actually screen my applicants if I say these are the specific requirements that I'm looking for, and do you have space for us to be able to conduct our interviews at your office if we need it?
Our WorkSource website allows employers to create an account, to be able to have hands-on access to open and close their job orders, to be able to screen their applicants. But WorkSource can assist employers screen if needed. So if that's something that the employer wants assistance with, we're all about helping. And our office is available, to assist employers with interviews, hiring events. We have conference rooms that are available that, for interviewing, individuals coming in. So all of the resources that are available at WorkSource are all available to the public and especially for our employers. So yes.
Great. And if that was something that I was looking for, would I just contact you directly, or is there a specific person at WorkSource that we would reach out to?
I would be assisting. I'm the lead specialist that does assist a lot with the employers, but everybody that is, working here at WorkSource, all of them have that ability to be able to work with an employer to set up those conference rooms for them, any events that we might have. We all work as a team to help our employers.
Great. All right. Well, how do we know if the individuals we hire are qualified for one of your programs? Is there an eligibility process or guidelines that we can look at to help us know more about, how we can help our employees or the people that we are looking at hiring?
Individuals and employers can always contact WorkSource directly. They can call us, they can come in, and speak to a WorkSource representative to discuss eligibility criteria, and start the eligibility process, by attending required workshops that start the enrollment process. Individuals can also access eligibility criteria by visiting the SkillSource website, which is the skillsource.org website, to review program directives and processes. It's all there. It's all information that is available to the public. But we encourage individuals to give us a call. We like to go out and do outreach, and part of what we do at WorkSource is go out and talk to employers and just kind of check in with them. How are they doing? How can we help? So that's a big way that we do connect with employers for any concerns or questions that they might have about our programs or our services. But if for some reason we don't get to you, we want employers to come give us a call, come in person, whatever works. If you tell us, hey, can you come down? We will come to you. So whatever it takes, we're here to help.
That's great. And I think WorkSource is one of those programs that are out there that, just like the Economic Alliance, it amazes me that as we're out doing business outreach and talking to people, it's like, well, I never heard about that program. And a lot of these services and a lot of these programs have been offered for years. And so I'm really excited that we're having this conversation and that we've been doing some outreach together in partnership over this last year, because, the more that we share information about these programs and services, I'm hoping that more of our businesses will take advantage of them, because they're just really key to helping, again, train our upcoming workforce, can help especially businesses if they're, struggling a little bit, and that OJT might help them, hire somebody, bring somebody on that will eventually be a full-time person on their staff. So, it's all about job creation and helping employers and hopefully getting them to access these services. So another question I have is, a lot of times we have businesses due to unforeseen circumstances, they're faced with budget cuts or revenue decline, which causes them to have to lay off staff. I know there's been an influx of money due to COVID, and all of a sudden that money is drying up. Same with, the state grants that the state and the federal programs that help small businesses, so it's not just government or nonprofit entities, but it's also small businesses as well, who are now seeing some of these, that they're feeling the impacts right now of what they've been through. And, there's the potential that they're going to have to lay some workers off. Is there programs that WorkSource offers that can help them? They want to have opportunities for their employees. Is there anything that you guys provide that can help them find another job, or provide them with additional training that will help connect them with, a job? Because again, these businesses don't, they love their employees, but due to unforeseen circumstances, they have to let them go. So what can you tell me about programs that you guys might have that could help those employees and employer?
If an employer has a significant layoff or plant closure that an employer is experiencing, WorkSource can assist through rapid response services. So if WorkSource is contacted in advance, we can schedule to meet with the employer and the employees that are affected and provide information on how to file for unemployment benefits, access training services, the different programs that are housed within our agency and partner agencies, to assist with finding employment, and how to access the different programs for training options that can offer, those training opportunities to get individuals back to work as soon as possible, because that's what we want to help with, getting people back to work. So that's one way that we can come in right, before the layoff happens, provide the employer with information as well as the employees affected. Employment Security Department also has the shared work program. The shared work program, saves employers money and employees their jobs. This program, instead of cutting jobs, cuts hours, and employees can collect partial benefits for the hours that they lost. So in other words, the way the program works is that the employer, could save payroll money and can hang on to their skilled workforce. So it's a program that if the employers, like you just mentioned, their budget cuts, for whatever reason, this is a program that will help them keep their employee so that maybe once they're, the business is starting to see more production, then they can get back, on track. So employers can access all of these resources by calling us. But for the shared work program, they do have to fill out an online application. It's about 5 to 10 minutes long. They could go on to our esd.wa.gov website and access that application, apply for it. There's going to be a representative that's going to work with them, step by step to organize, fill out all the paperwork and put the program in action. So
that's interesting you brought that up. I was just at the Washington Economic Development Association conference a couple weeks ago, and there was a representative from the shared work program there, and he pulled up Okanogan County on a map, there was like so many businesses that were eligible to participate in the program, and I think we had 0. And again, it's another tool for businesses who, again, have these employees that they want to keep on their payroll. They don't want to lose them, to keep them on their payroll, give them the hours, and then they can get benefits through, is it unemployment or is it shared work? So
yes,
that they can still be compensated for those hours that they're not able to stay on. So it's a great program, and just another one that we need to make sure that we connect businesses to. Another follow-up question on that, is there a minimum amount of number that a business has to lay off in order to have rapid response?
I don't know what that number is, but I know that for us at WorkSource, if it's just 1 or 2 individuals, it's going to make a difference for that 1 or 2 individuals that we're going to reach out to. So whenever there is anybody that's being laid off, we want to be contacted. We want to know about those things. A lot of the times I know through our partners, we find out, that things are happening. Some people were laid off here or things to that nature. And we try to be right out there and be giving the information to the employer and the participant, because it makes a difference to that individual.
Yes, and I think that's great, because especially in Okanogan County and in our communities, we have so many micro enterprise businesses, those that are 5 or less, and if somebody has to lay 2 people off or 3 people off out of their 5 employees, that's huge. And they're just as important as the 20 that could be laid off down the road. So it's great that you guys have those services that are available to the employer and to the employees, because again, like I mentioned, so many, are invested in their employees and they love them just like their family members. And it's so hard when you're faced with a decision like that, and to know that there's programs out there like this will make the employers feel, I think, a little bit more confident as they move forward with that, having to make a decision like that. So, and to our final question, Monica, how business contact you if they'd like to speak with you to discuss if their business is eligible for one of your programs?
They can come in person. We welcome everybody to go, walk through our doors and ask questions, come look at our building, our office. But they can contact me directly by calling WorkSource, which is the direct line to our office is the 509-826-7310. My direct line is 509-826-7546. They can email us, they can call us to speak to a WorkSource representative in the office. Everybody that's here will be able to assist them with any of the questions or concerns that they might have, information about the different programs, our partner agencies that are under, the umbrella of WorkSource here in our office. Employers can visit our website, which is the WorkSourceWA.com. There's a lot of information there for businesses that gives them access to be able to, create an account, to promote, recruit for any openings that they have. You can also click on that website on the link to speak to a representative through the live chat services that is available. We also have, valuable employer information on our esd.law.gov website. Like I mentioned, the shared work information is there. And like I said, we just invite employers and job seekers to come in. If you have questions, want to know more about the programs or specific details of how we can help and benefit your program or your business, come in, come speak to us. We'd like to hear from you because we want to help in any way that we can.
So where are you located for those that might not know? And they want to come and see you.
Located in OMAC. We are at 126 South Main in OMAC. We share the building with the SHS, and so we're here to help.
Right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of our Business 101 interview with the experts. Monica will also be doing the similar presentation with Lionel, our small business outreach specialist here in Spanish coming up. So that'll be pretty exciting because we're also trying to make sure that we have access to all of our programs and interviews in Spanish to all of our Latino businesses that are out there because we have a huge amount. So we're really excited about that. Monica, is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience?
I just want to just tell everyone that, we're here to help employers as well as job seekers, but, for employers, with their business needs, so any question that you might have, please contact us. Like I said, we're going to be going out. We have been, but we're going to be going out more and hopefully, going into your business, talking to you to see what your needs are. But just give us a call, come in. I'd love to speak to anybody who wants to receive more information or has questions.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here today. And I don't see any questions right now on Facebook Live. So I just want to thank our audience for your time. And don't forget to check our Facebook page weekly to find out more about our upcoming interviews and workshops. We have upcoming workshops on branding, access to capital, and one-on-one sessions for QuickBooks and branding for your business. We've also created a YouTube channel where you can access all of our Business 101 interviews and past webinars and training opportunities on demand. So if you don't have time to watch this during the day because it's, you're working in your business, you have the ability to access this at your own time when you want to watch it. We're also going to be offering several different upcoming trainings and webinars in Spanish. So that will also go to our YouTube channel, and we're really excited about that. And if you would like to make an appointment with our small business advisor, Lou Blakeney from the Small Business Development Center to talk about your new business startup idea, or if you are an existing business needing help with a marketing strategy or financial analysis, the SBDC offers free confidential small business services. You can contact us at 509-826-5107 to schedule an appointment. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I'll actually add before we end, our YouTube channel into this, the chat. And so that you have access to that so you can watch the video. But again, thank you for your time.